Perfect. Hans Themistode, FightHype.com here with Demsey McKean. How you doing today, brother?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. Almost another week down of training and yeah, feeling good and feeling sharp.
All right. So, obviously, you're definitely in the running to land that Anthony Joshua fight. A few other names are mentioned as well, but how excited are you, would you say, to land that fight, man? Biggest fight of your career.
Biggest fight of my career, and yeah, I've been waiting patiently for a big fight. Had quite a lot of stay busy fights and had a few big fights that have kind of fallen through the fingertips last minute every time. And yeah, he's let's be honest, even though he's coming off two losses, he's still the biggest name in boxing, especially heavyweight boxing. So it's good to get that exposure and kind of get that name out there, and especially a win. That could propel me to like a world title fight straight away. It's definitely a life changing fight and a career changing fight as well. So fingers crossed it comes through.
For sure, 100%. Now, I know that you used to spar AJ back in the day a little bit, man.
Yeah, I was part of his camp both times he fought Usyk. So yeah, know him and his team quite well in that regard. So yeah,
Would you say that Joshua was a completely different fighter from when you sparred him for that first Usyk fight compared to the second Usyk fight?
I wouldn't say completely a different fighter. I'd say he definitely made some good adjustments and come in a lot better. Probably focused on his conditioning a lot more as well. Like he come in a lot fitter. Keeping the pressure on and a bit more head movement as well. So I don't think you can really change into a complete fighter in that short amount of time. But he did make some good adjustments under Rob Garcia. So obviously it wasn't enough. Usyk's a hell of a champion and quite a tricky operator as well.
I know you got a lot of love for AJ, but just your honest thoughts on him as an overall fighter, man. What do you think about him, and where would you kind of put him right now in the heavyweight division? Two, three, four, five? Where do you kind of rank him?
Yeah, look, he was a great champion. He's a good boxer. He's done a lot of things for heavyweight boxing. He's brought a lot of eyes back into the sport, and a lot of money. Heavyweight division, we get paid the most amount out of all the divisions, and he's probably got a great deal to do with that. But yeah, I think obviously with these two losses as of late, I think I probably definitely top five. I'd say probably even top three. I'd say Usyk, Fury, AJ, and then probably Deontay Wilder, and then maybe Dillian White. I'd say are probably the top five at the moment in my eyes, or maybe even Joyce at number five over Dillian White. He's a tough customer as well.
So you would put AJ above Wilder. So does that mean that you think AJ would beat Wilder, and if they fought, man?
I think probably I'm going off. I probably think Wilder would probably knock out AJ, but I think probably just going off the accomplishments, the titles, and the competition that they've fought in that regard.
Gotcha. Now, he does have three losses, but he's lost against, the elite level guys, man. So what about yourself that makes you say, hey, I know he's only lost to Andy Ruiz, Usyk, two elite level fighters, but what makes you say, hey, I know I can beat him. I'm an elite level heavyweight myself, man.
I think I've got the full package. I'm a super fit heavyweight. I always come in very well conditioned. Tricky southpaw. I'm quite fast for a heavyweight, and I've got good feet as well. Obviously I haven't fought the competition that these top level guys have, but I've been like I said, I've been waiting for my time to shine. So a lot of people, especially the casual fans, they write off these kind of underdogs that are quite unknown, and then some of these guys put on a good performance and it kind of shocks the world. You can look at Otto Wallen against Tyson Fury, and then as of late, Jermaine Franklin against Dillian White, mate. So everyone was writing them off before it and slagging them out and talking them down, and then they win over a lot of fans. So it's until you've kind of, these unknown fighters like myself have had that kind of platform to perform on and actually do well, we're not going to gain that respect. So, and yeah, I'm a tricky southpaw. I'm fast, and I'm hungry. I'm on the way up as well. Now's probably a good time to get him when he's on the downfall. So. Coming off a couple of losses, he's very well set up and very well paid. So, what they say, it's a lot hard to get out of bed when you're sleeping in silk pajamas. So, as my manager always says, so, I think it's just my time. And, if we don't get the AJ fight, hopefully we can get another big fight just so I can, showcase my skills and show everyone this is the level that I belong on.
When it comes to fighting AJ, I know you could probably win in like a variety of different ways, man. But if you go into a fight with him, are you kind of looking, okay, let me try to outbox him, kind of wear him down. His stamina has been a little bit, I guess it has faltered a little bit down the stretch in certain fights. Or would you kind of look at him and say, he's a big, strong dude. I'm gonna come right at him and try to knock him out, man.
Yeah, I don't think that's the right mentality to go into the fight. You know, when the knockouts present themselves, and that's when you take them. But I know for a fact I'm definitely a better boxer than AJ. I'm a lot more mobile, a lot slicker. A lot harder to hit. So I know I can outbox him. Obviously, the power is probably in his department. But don't get me wrong, mate. When my left hook lands, it seems to put some people down as well. And he seems to get tagged by that left straight and that left hook every time. And my left hook is my favorite punch. And like I said, when that does land, there's no need for the judges. And obviously, fighting in his backyard, you kind of have to go in for kind of stop him or win pretty convincingly. So yeah, obviously there would be that urgency to kind of you wouldn't want to force a knockout, but you'd almost want to rely on the knockout to win.
Do you think that AJ at this point in his career, because when he first started off and in like the middle stages, yeah, I mean everybody wants to get paid a lot of money, of course, but he always wanted to be a world champ, became that 2 times. Now he's about, I don't even know, 30, he's 30 something years old. Do you think that he's still in it to become a world champ, or do you kind of look at him and say, all right, he wants a big fight with Dillian White, that's a lot of money. Big fight with Wilder, that's a lot of money. Big fight with Tyson Fury, that's a lot of money. Do you think he's just kind of looking at it like, let me just get all the money I can before I get out of here, or do you think he still has that hunger in him, man?
No, I think he's still got that hunger. Like once you kind of compete at that level, or and he does cop a lot of criticism. So I think deep down he probably wants to prove a lot of people. And like he said in the past, like he wonders why he doesn't get the respect that he deserves, especially in the UK. Everyone loved him before he lost to Usyk, and now everyone's against him. And that's the game that we're in. Unfortunately, people cop criticism regardless of a win, loss, or draw. No matter how good of a performance you put on, people are still going to run you down. But I think he's still hungry. He's got a lot of money. Don't get me wrong. He's very well paid and stuff, but he probably doesn't even need the money. But I think he's still probably maybe wants to go for that 3-time. Maybe wants to leave like a bit of a legacy behind as well. I know I would like to do that, and probably a lot of these top level guys. It's a boxing niche as well. It's hard to give up as you talk to these old retired fighters, and they just want to keep on going and keep on going. They don't know when to hang up the gloves. So I'd say he probably loves it, and he probably wants to keep his mind straight. But yeah, deep down, really only he knows that as well. But that's my thought.
AJ also gets a little bit of criticism for like his chin. A lot of people say that, if he gets hit clean enough, because he went down a few times against Ruiz, went down against Klitschko, got buzzed against Usyk, who's a naturally smaller guy. Do you kind of look at his chin like it's a little bit of his kryptonite, or do you think that part is a little bit overblown, man?
I think so. I think he's been buzzed a lot, and I don't think he's been the same after the Ruiz loss, and I think that's what probably a lot of people have been thinking. Some people aren't the same after a knockout. Other people get back on the bandwagon. Like look at Dillian White when he got knocked out cold by Povetkin. He rematched him straight away, and he just went in there like a bullet in a China shop, mate, and demolished him straight away. And some people go one way, some people go the other. So I think that obviously kind of lingers around in his head a little bit. But I think I'd say so. And it is heavyweight division, mate. We all hit hard, and when you land flush, it's sometimes that's all it needs is just to land flush. But I think he might have a little bit of I wouldn't say a weak chin, but maybe he's a bit susceptible to the bigger shots.
So what do you kind of make of, him kind of doing like the whole trainer change thing? He went to Robert Garcia. Now it seems like, I'm not 100% sure, but it seems like he's now with Derek James, or he's with somebody that's not Robert Garcia anyway, so that could be his third trainer. What do you kind of think of that? Like, do you think it's a good thing to kind of keep switching trainers, or do you think it just makes more sense to, kind of stay with that continuity and just, all right, this is my guy, win, lose, or draw, we're just going to get better together?
Well, I think it was made a little bit public about him and Rob Garcia didn't really gel too well, or there's some issues in camp or something. So obviously, if the relationship isn't too good in camp, and I'm not too sure what the issue was or what it might have been, but if you're not gelling, then I think it's best thing is to split it up for sure. So maybe he wanted a bit of refreshment when he first left his UK coach, and then signed with Rob Garcia. But I think he's probably done the right thing by getting out of his comfort zone and moving to the States and being told what to do, and not being able to dictate things. So I think Derek James is probably going to be able to do that, and it's the best thing for you. When I moved out of Australia and come to the UK over a year ago, and come over here as a massive refreshment, and a whole another coach and different teaching techniques, and it's taken my my skill level, tenfold as well. So I think that's definitely going to work in his favor, in a new environment and everything in between.
You're definitely a good heavyweight, but I've seen you fight plenty of times before. But to go from I don't know, the level of competition that you're currently fighting right now to fighting AJ, like,
Big
if not,
jump. It's
yeah,
huge. Yeah,
if
it's a
he's not
massive
the
jump.
top, if he's not
It's,
the top of the top, he's like right
yeah,
underneath it. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like, just
yeah.
how comfortable with you with just going into a fight like that? Like, would it make more sense for you to just, instead of going into an AJ fight, maybe you fight a guy like a Jermaine Franklin, or
Mm.
somebody who's, a few notches above the guys you've been fighting before getting AJ? Or are you just like, I would like to do that, but if I land this AJ fight, I can't say no, man. That's life-changing money.
Exactly.
I gotta take him now.
Yeah, definitely. And obviously, there's people who've talked about in the past, to having a bridging fight before you get to that top level and, get that experience and another little step up. But like you said, when opportunity arises, you can't, it's a win-win, it's a win-win fight regardless. So like you said, life-changing money, possible one fight away from a world title fight. And, God forbid if I didn't win, if I lost and I performed well and went the distance, mate, there's still massive fights after that. You perform well and put up a good fight, you put on a good show, you're going to get the callback for other big fights, other big paydays. So, and that's how it works in this game. So, yeah, you can't knock it. But obviously, a bridging fight would be good. But like you said, I've been trying to get bridging fights, trying to land these big fights, and come so close to land a fight with Dillian White, and that fell through due to the fact he didn't want to fight a southpaw. And this is the only way I think the AJ fight is going to kind of fizzle out, as if he doesn't want to fight a southpaw. He's made clear in the past that he doesn't like fighting them, and he obviously hasn't had the best success on fighting them either. So, and it's kind of upsetting, like. All these fights have always fallen through due to the fact that I'm a southpaw. These guys, supposed to be the cream of the crop and the elite of the elite, and they don't want to fight someone because they're a southpaw due to their stance or whatever it may be. We even had a possible fight with Tyson Fury years ago when he's looking for a late notice replacement, and we got to like a top 2 pick, and then his team turned around and said, "Yeah, no southpaws." So obviously the hard fight that Otto gave him, I consider myself a lot more skillful than Otto Wallen. So. Yeah, it's a shame, Tyson Fury, Dillian White, and it could be possible like falling through with AJ as well due to the fact that I'm a southpaw. But hopefully I get in a position soon and get a good fight, and then I get myself in a position where these guys can't say no.
Might want to start working on your orthodox stance, man. That's good.
I know, right? I might just have to promise them I'm going to go orthodox in the fight, and then switch it up a bit. So,
Right. So, who do you consider the best heavyweight right now? Take yourself out. I think it would probably be between, Usyk, Fury. Some people probably want to throw Wilder in there, but who do you consider the best heavyweight right now, man?
say the best, I'd have to go Usyk. I think so. I think with the competition, AJ has definitely fought the best competition. He's fought better competition than Tyson Fury, and I think the fashion that Usyk done him in as well. I think, and coming from like undisputed cruiserweight champion and then coming up to heavyweight, and he's probably very close to landing that undisputed heavyweight title as well. Even though he's got a very tough ask in taking out Tyson Fury, but I'd say Usyk, and then. But I think Fury beats Usyk. But I think Fury would beat Usyk. But I think just from credentials and everything, I think Usyk at the moment. But until they fight, I guess we won't know.
Gotcha. Wow. Okay. So Usyk's number one for you, but you're taking Fury to beat him. I'm assuming because of like the size and girth, just too much, pretty much.
Yeah, I think so. I think he just moves too well as well, and just long jab. If you can just keep him at bay, and obviously Usyk's not going to have the power to be able to phase Fury. I think if he just plays smart, stays long, stays up on his toes as he usually does, I don't think Usyk's going to be able to kind of pin him down too much.
Gotcha. Now, looking back at the AJ fight, granted you haven't fought the elite level guys or the next tier guys, but you have been very active though. You fought twice in 2022, twice in 2021. So you have been active. AJ's been a little inactive, fought one 2022, one time 2021, and his schedule is always a little bit meek to say. Would you say that kind of plays into your hands, or would you say that AJ, since he's fighting, the high level of competition, fighting once a year is okay, pretty much?
I don't think so. I don't even think I was that active the last couple of years. Obviously, 2021, I come over to the UK during COVID, and that was my career kind of hit a standpoint in Australia because we were so locked down. And then last year I had a badly broken thumb. So, I was inactive for the later part of the year. So I think 3 to 4 fights is good. But obviously, once you get at the high level, you'll be looking to fight twice a year. So I think I just got while I've got the time, I can build my record up, get my experience. And a lot of people don't know, but I had 0 amateur fights at all. I never had an amateur background. I took a pro boxing fight on a day's notice, and that's how I fell into boxing just after competing and had 4 MMA fights and 4 Muay Thai fights, and that was it. So I had 8 amateur combat sports fights before I turned to boxing. So literally I've only had the 22 boxing fights. So I'm still green, still learning, still got a long way to go, but I'm eager, and that's what I'm saying. I'm hungry. I didn't start boxing until the age of 24. So, it's exciting times.
But would you say that, since AJ's been a bit inactive, would you say that that kind of goes hand in hand with what you were saying earlier, that, he's a great fighter.
Oh, definitely an advantage, yeah. Yeah, it's a huge advantage for sure. The ring rust is a real thing. When I had hand operation years ago, and I snapped the ligament in my knuckle, and I was out for a year, and I come back, and it was probably the worst fight I've ever had, because I was just that fitness. The fitness wasn't there, even though I was spar fit, I was gym fit, and I was everything in between, but you're just not used to it. And then obviously you have the adrenaline and the lights, the cameras, the crowd, the whole lot. It's a lot on. And, when you imagine someone like AJ and the pedestal he's put on and the amount of eyes that are on him, that's a lot. He's got a lot to lose every fight.
Do you think that AJ, because at some point, Eddie Hearn says that, he wants to get him that Tyson Fury fight. Do you think he can compete with Tyson Fury, probably even beat him? Or do you just think that he loses to him, he loses to Usyk, he loses to Wilder, he loses to all the top 3 names, man?
I think so. I think he does. I think boxers and good movers are probably his kryptonite. He's had a lot of success. He's a big, strong guy. When people stand in front of him, and he gets to slug it out. But when you add a bit of footwork and a bit of mobility and stick that jab and that head movement, it seems to kind of baffle him a little bit as well. So, and Tyson Fury's really good at that. Really good at the feints. Usyk, as we've seen, has had a lot of success, and I myself kind of put myself in that same boat. I like to move around and nice long jab and use my speed, my combinations. So.
Let's just say in a perfect world you land the fight, man. Would you feel, I guess I want to say, maybe disrespected, only from the standpoint of, okay, they fight you, they're already talking about, all right, we want to fight Dillian White right after. And then after that, we want to move into a Deontay Wilder or a Tyson Fury fight. Would you feel kind of disrespected? Like, damn, man, they're just kind of looking past me already.
Not really, because you'd kind of expect that, from someone that's been under unified world champion and fought the competition that he has, compared to someone like me, unknown kind of on that world scene, and all the way from Australia that's moved over here. So you kind of expect that. And, people, especially the media, the media has been kind of labeled, you walk through McKean in a few rounds or whatever it is. But it's funny, man. That's what I like. I don't bat an eye to that. It's more drive. If I had that opportunity, and when you do end up successful, it's going to be good to be able to shut those naysayers up. But can't look past anyone in the top 15 in the world. We're all good fighters, and some are heavier hitters than others, and I consider myself a heavier hitter than a lot of others. But yeah. So if they want to look past me, they can look past me. But that's going to be expected.
You come across as a really confident guy, but does some of your confidence kind of stem from those sparring sessions that you had with AJ, where, you was just like, all right, I'm going to help you, with the Usyk fight, but I feel like I might be getting the better of him. Maybe you were just studying him a little bit, okay, this might be a fight I get in the future. Does some of your confidence come from those sparring sessions, or is it just, it's just who you are?
Yeah, it stems from all my sparring sessions. I've been in camp with AJ a couple of times. I spent a lot of time in Portugal with Dillian White, helping him out for the Otto Wallen fight that never eventuated. And then I do a lot of rounds with Daniel Dubois out here in London too. So, I've been in there with 3 of the best guys, well, probably the 3 best guys in the UK at the moment. So I give these guys good, tough rounds. It's very competitive. And that's why I'm confident, because that's all I know, the level. I know sparring is different from fights and all that as well, but I've always been someone that fights better than I spar. So, given the opportunity and be able to rise to the occasion, it's going to be good. So, but I know the rounds and the skill I put in the ring with these top level guys, and let me tell you, mate, there's nothing that differentiates them from me.
Gotcha. And just a last few questions for you. Would you take AJ over a Joe Joyce, or do you think Joe Joyce is just such on a roll right now that you got to favor him over an Anthony Joshua?
If those 2 were to fight?
Yeah.
I think Joyce would probably probably walk him down like he does to everyone. But then again, we haven't really seen Joyce test with a big puncher. I think,
But let
you
me let
know,
me ask you this, because you said,
yeah,
Joyce will probably walk him down because that is his style, just to come forward. But you
yeah,
did say a few minutes ago that AJ, he does have a little problem with guys who, move their
mm,
feet. Joyce is just gonna come right at him. So would that
yeah,
kind
yeah.
of, play into AJ's hands, man?
Well, AJ is a big puncher, and that's what I was about to say. Is we haven't really seen Joyce in with a super big puncher either, and a fit 12 round fighter or someone who's used to going to 12 rounds. But AJ's got a good punch, and he's probably got the potential to knock him out. But I think once again, Joyce is a handful for anyone. Unless you're a really big puncher and super fit and you can move your feet well, it's going to be a tough night in the office. But I think he's given the opportunity, he'll probably become world champion soon. I think he might even take out Fury with his style. I'm not too sure. It's a tough one. But like I think Deontay Wilder would probably sleep him because he's quite easy to hit, and Deontay Wilder is just a freak of nature, and he's got the touch of death as we know. He can pretty much stop any creature on this planet. So I think he would probably stop Joyce. But that's the beauty of boxing, isn't it? It's styles make fights, and other people match up a lot better with other fighters. So. And that's what makes it so exciting.
Gotcha. And just lastly, if Joshua was to hear this interview, or anybody who's, handling him, Eddie Hearn or anything like that, what would you kind of say to them to make you say, all right, let me get the fight, man? Like, I really want this fight, been working my way up. Let me get this fight, man.
Well, mate, like you said, you're just going to walk through me. You're looking at fights in the future. So come on, let's make the fight, and let me see you walk straight through me. So hopefully they man up, and he wants to get one up on another southpaw, and he's been hard done by the last couple of times. So and you've been sparring and prepping for southpaws the last couple of years. So why not keep the ball rolling, and come take me out like you say you will.
Gotcha. Really appreciate your time, brother.
No worries at all, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you, man. Have a good day.
Excellent. Thank you. Cheers, man.